Namaste, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Blooming Lotus Healing channel. My name is Jikara, and I'm a spiritual healing facilitator. And I come here on this channel every Thursday, and I bring different practitioners, and we have different conversations about different topics. And today we're going to be talking about to how or learn how to heal your throat chakra with your voice. This is a really powerful conversation. So I hope that you get to stay for the entire conversation. We will have readings at the end of the second hour. We'll have readings as well. And today we're going to have Hannah Benu, who is from Soul Vessel Mysteries, and she's going to be talking about this. And she also prepared a really nice, beautiful healing little audio for us to receive some healing. So make sure that you stay tuned because it's going to be amazing. And before we get started, I just kind of wanted to do a couple of announcements for all of you who don't know. I go live on Instagram every single Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I do readings there. So if you want additional readings and you want to continue to connect with me, then I want to invite you to go onto my Instagram over and follow me if you're not already following me. And then, of course, if you want a reading, then you can come in and receive that. I want to invite you to also subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And your support, share and like this video. Your support really means a lot. And when we bring these conversations to the table for people who may need it, then we are basically doing good in the world. So thank you so much for sharing and for subscribing. I also wanted to thank my supporters, those of you who are part of the Cosmic Light Activation membership. Thank you so much. It means so much to me that you guys are month after month helping and supporting this channel. Your support really helps get things going. It helps, this channel is not really sponsored by anyone. It's really sponsored by you, by the people, by the community, which I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. So if you are interested in supporting this channel and you want to sign up for my membership, I want to invite you to head over to my website, thebloominglotushealing.com, and sign up for my email list. That's where I will announce when the membership is available. Since I'm the only one basically managing everything, I don't open it all the time because I want to make sure that you're receiving all the information, because I want to make sure that you're set up on Telegram and all that good stuff. But typically, if you join, what you would get is one session a month that is a collective session. We do an Akashic record clearing specifically for the group. You also get priority on the readings on Instagram, like I was mentioning earlier. So you get priority on those, and then you also get a weekly collective reading on the Telegram channel. So it's really great, and we're building this beautiful community. So I wanna invite you to step in and join. But in the meantime, I just kind of wanted to just invite you to go into my website and sign up for my email list. But enough about this stuff. I really, this is like blah blah blah, right? Like I really just want to bring in Hannah and talk about the good stuff and bring all the juicy stuff into the table. But first, I kind of wanted to come in and share my love for everyone. Catherine, hi, Catherine. Hi, Amy, Cece. Hi, Dawn. And please make sure that your volume is turned on. I see that everyone can hear me, so I'm super super excited. So anyway, so without further ado, I'm gonna bring in my beautiful queen goddess friend, Hannah. Hi. I think you're muted.
Sorry.
It's all good. How are you? I'm so happy you're here.
I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, I'm also very excited to be back. I'm really looking forward to these chats and connecting. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to share something with you. I was sharing with you this earlier, before we came in, how I was really connecting to my voice yesterday, in that process of releasing, some of my, energetic blocks that had to do with abundance, and like really allowing myself to feel pleasure as I was receiving, a client, and using my voice in a way that felt pleasurable for me. And so I was like, what a perfect time for me to do this, like quite literally the day before. And so we'll dive into that, but I kind of wanted to share that and kind of open the subject about, well, first of all, I kind of wanted to open the subject with you kind of talking to us about the voice, and how you you've determined, like how you've done this work for yourself with the voice, and how did you get started with all this?
Ooh. Yeah. So first of all, maybe I can just say that I like my throat chakra is not all completely healed yet. So I'm on that path. It has been a long path. You know, like often these things that like our true calling also holds our biggest challenges. And
Yes.
so yeah, it's been a challenge definitely to get here actually. So um there are so many things to say, but let's just talk about the singing and the expressing through the singing. So when I was a child already, I was like taking singing lessons, or like, yeah, almost a teenager, like I think with 10 years or something, 10 years old, I took the first singing lessons. And my mother was like really, like she really wanted me to become a big star actually.
Oh, wow.
I'm not a big star, but who knows? And so yeah, I was like always singing, like maybe even singing before I was actually really talking, even though I also talk a lot, so probably both came probably in at the same time. But yeah, and so I was taking singing lessons. I was in the school choir. I participated in musical what is it called, recitals, I don't know, sometimes I'm struggling with the English
Yeah.
word.
Yeah,
So
recitals, yeah.
yeah, so like we had like really musical shows even also like with the choir, so like was really cool school choir. And I also had like leading roles and stuff like that. And I continued to have singing lessons, and those were classical singing lessons. So I was trained in to sing opera basically, or to classical music. And but already when I was a teenager, like with like around the age of 15, I would say, that started that I was very like naturally expressing myself in a very fun or like joyful kind of way. I really loved expressing myself. I also loved the theater and just like having fun. It was like, yeah, brought me a lot of joy to express myself. But when I was a teenager, I still don't really know, or maybe I just forgot because I worked on this, of course, already a lot. But something
Mhm.
shifted back then. And I started to become very, very aware of myself, but not in the good, like self-awareness for president kind of way, more like I was like, I felt being watched and
Oh, wow.
observed all the time.
Wow.
And and criticized also, like
Yeah.
and judged all the time. And that really, really changed something. So I really closed off in a kind of way. And it was not, I still participated in school plays and still also participated in leading roles, but it wasn't so joyful anymore. It was also not
Mm.
coming from this natural, instinctive, just doing it kind of way, but very I was observing myself all the time. And yeah, it didn't really flow, let's just maybe like put it like that. And also my voice started to, I was, how do you say that, I had like a scratchy voice. um or I don't know, what is the English term for that, or like a sore throat, I don't know, don't.
Yeah, like a sore throat, or like maybe like yeah, like a scratchy voice maybe.
That's
Like if
all,
you,
yeah,
yeah.
scratchy voice like almost all the time. So I think like for about 2 years, I almost always had a scratchy voice, and it was always a challenge for me to sing and to. It was very traumatic in a way, because I loved
Yeah.
singing and I wanted to sing, but there
Right.
was also a lot of pressure to get leading roles, to get the like solos in um the choir recitals and stuff like that. And yeah, so like the joy actually got taken away. And also, I mean,
Mm.
the teenage years were like, I had like, I'm like very grateful because I had amazing friends. I had like amazing friends. I don't even know sometimes why they were friends with me and still are. but but they kind of like saved my life, I would say, because my teenager years were quite traumatic for me and very, very difficult. I started to
Mm.
have severe depression back then. I would also say, like looking back, I would say I had like borderline tendency, maybe not in the most obvious kind of way, but if I go through the list, then I can check like almost every yep, yep, yep. I was like, that was like years later, like 10 years ago or something. I was going through a list of borderline personality disorder, and I was like, well, why did nobody diagnose me with that? I mean, it's not that funny, but I was like, yeah, that it was a very rough time. It was
Yeah.
a lot of drug abuse, and I was like, I was not feeling well. And yeah, also I had like very like struggled a lot with who I was and
Mhm.
how to feel like I belong or to feel accepted and stuff. And it's very difficult, so because most people would still say that I was like very open and very, like a lot of friends and stuff. And that was also always the case, but there was also like a very dark downside that most people did not see.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, I don't want to talk too much because of course that's a big topic, but so that was then. And then when I got off school, when I finished school, I did not sing for 10 years. I mean, I
Wow.
sang in the shower and when I was alone or something, but other than that, I did not share my voice. So
Wow.
yeah, that was because it was so much pressure connected to it, and yeah,
Yeah.
did not feel good with doing that anymore. And then in 2015, I think, I bought myself a ukulele.
Oh.
and
Yeah.
and then I slowly started to open up and just sang for myself. And that was, and also like what was so beautiful for me was that I discovered my own voice, my unique voice, like how it was
Mm.
comfortable for me to sing. So also like like to deal, because singing lessons can be very conditioning, right? You have to sing
Yeah.
in a very um
Yeah.
specific kind of way. And I mean, those practices, they have their reasons, right? And their value, definitely, and I'd still um benefit from those lessons. But um yeah, during like since that time, since 2015, I discovered my own voice, my how I want to express myself, and what feels comfortable and right for me. And that's actually, I want to say, pretty unique, and not because I'm so special, but because it's unique for me. So everybody has their unique way of expression. That's also, like, just as a side note, that's also what I love musical, but I would not want to become a musical singer because they are really trained to sing a lot like alike, is that the word?
Yeah. Like basically like the same, right? Like copy each other in a way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of that. I want uniqueness. I want authenticity.
Yeah.
I want to see people.
Yeah,
Hear
absolutely.
them.
I can relate to that. And I can relate to what you're saying because, I went to school for photography, and one of the things that I like there's okay. So, I went to school for digital photography. I don't regret going to school because I learned a lot from my teachers, but then it was really difficult for me when I graduated because I did not know who am I as a photographer, like beyond the technique. You know what I mean? And so when you say that, I feel you deeply. Like I completely understand when it comes down to like, yeah, the techniques are good. Like they're good to have, but like who am I beyond the technique? Because even with technique, we might end up breaking techniques. We might bend the rules a little bit when we are connecting to our own voice, to our own expression of who we want to and how we want to show up in the world, right? And so it's almost like you have to like break away from that programming in a way, and and like get into that space of like really learning who you are. So that's a
Mhm,
beautiful journey. Like you were in this journey of finding your voice.
mhm.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and I really want to share something with you, because that's like a big topic, right? With when it's about the voice and sound, but specifically the voice. Because as I sat down this morning to create the voice alchemy for this podcast today, I was picking cards, And I want to show you the cards because it was just
Yeah.
like couldn't have been better. First
I'm
thing
curious.
that came out was the King of Swords, which of course is
Ooh.
perfect because like the swords stand for the element of air, for voicing your truth, for
Mm.
speaking and um communication and stuff. Then the next card was the Ten of Air, so like the Ten of Swords, so swords again. Um, the Nine of Swords, the
Wow.
Four of Swords.
It
I
was
was
all about the voice today.
It was only swords, and then the last card, the Call,
Oh.
and it was just perfect. And I was like, yeah, that's like like what I wanted to focus on, or like what the topic, of course, is to because the call, it is called like it is called the calling, our
Yeah.
calling, our soul's calling,
Yeah.
and we have to voice that calling. So everything about the throat chakra, the the voice is about like truth and authenticity, truthful expression of who we actually are, and not only who we actually are, but who our soul came here to be, and
Mm.
what we came here to bring to the world, right? Like our gifts. So I really love that. But of course, with the other cards, I think, like like I share my personal story, but I think like most people have this struggle with like, who am I really? How am I able to express? Am I allowed to express who I really am? And those cards, like, I think show this quite nicely with like the Ten of Swords. Like in these depictions, they are a bit different than the normal tarot, but like to to overcome the conditioning, to blow away the conditions from the past, or the hurtful conditioning from the past, and to step out of that, and to trust yourself and your own truth, and to trust that if you express yourself freely and openly, that you can fly, or that you will be carried. So I really love that as a as a topic. And as a it's as I said, like it's called like the calling and the vocation, and that they are called like that for a reason.
Yeah. And the interesting thing about this whole thing too is, how, and we were kind of like just slightly touching the subject matter of this, but and this happens to both men and women, but the majority of the people that watch this channel are women. So I wanted to kind of anchor a little bit of that conversation with women and our voice, because there is, in certain aspects, a lot of struggle for us as women to really find our voice. Not I'm not saying that men don't struggle with this. Please, if you're a man and you're watching this, know that I acknowledge you and I see you, and I think that you have a place in this world for healing. But I can only speak for myself as a woman, right? And so I know for me, there was this deep disconnect to speaking my truth and saying no, or saying yes when I wanted to say yes, or saying no when I wanted to say no. And that is a huge thing that happens over and over again. And I feel that that is generational, and we were talking about how the voice is connected to the woman. You were and I kind of wanted to explore that with you, because I personally have used my voice as a way to heal my own sexual trauma, right?
Mhm.
So, um, and I'm not gonna share everything that I've been through, but I've been through some really hurtful things in my life that really, really put my sacral in a place of like just really junky energy, right? And so I had to learn how to use my voice to kind of move through that energy and allow the energy of expression to come through in whichever way it wanted to come through, whether it was a scream, whether it was a sigh, or like the sound of pleasure, right? Like whenever you're having an orgasmic moment, right? And so allowing ourselves to express that without feeling any sort of shame around that, right? And so and that's something that can potentially, heal other, like, just because our throat, just because we're working on our throat doesn't mean that the throat doesn't, like, working it on it, I feel it also affects other parts, right? Other
Mhm.
parts,
Mhm.
other aspects of our being. And so the like I wanted to kind of ask you, for someone who's watching this and they've never really thought about the voice being a way they could heal, what would you recommend for them to practice, at least at home, as something simple that they can do to help them in a safe way, maybe like kind of like how you started on your own with, on your own, singing to yourself. What would you recommend for people to do to use their voice to heal?
Yeah, so there are, of course. So first of all, thank you for sharing all that. That's a really, I think that those are really really important topics. And I also would love to, maybe, I know that you and Dawn also talked about the thyroid, and I also have like a journey with that. I don't have a thyroid I had an underactive thyroid, but I don't have that anymore. So I also would love to share maybe about that. And that is like very specifically or very often uh, a thing that women suffer from. So just to also like kind of like confirm from my perspective what you just shared about the feminine trauma in this area. um so I was like, like there are a lot of different techniques that you can do with your voice, um in order to open the throat chakra, or to work with the throat chakra and stuff. But the when I was like doing, like preparing for the podcast, I was like, actually, like everything that has to do with authentic self-expression, that's like the way to go. So you also already mentioned that saying no when you mean no, saying yes
Mhm.
when you mean yes. Of course, for some of us, that, that can be really hard.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. Listen, and that's the thing. And then, this opens up the topic of, it's an ongoing journey, right? Like it's not, I don't think the moment we arrive is when we leave Earth, right? Like I feel like that's when we arrive. It's like, okay, we arrived at the end of this chapter, or this destination. But I feel like it's, for anyone to say that they're completely, everything is done, there's always deeper layers, right, that we can do. And I think embracing our imperfection is part of the perfection of our humanity, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
like embracing that beauty
Hmm.
of both the light and the dark, and continuing to do that. And guess what? That makes you a better healer because you're working on yourself. You know what I mean? Like that's the best. That's the way I see it.
How I became a healer, because otherwise I wouldn't have a clue.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it's like the initiation, right? We go through the struggle so that we can, like learn how to like overcome it, and then, walk home with everyone else, and so yeah, so that it makes a lot of sense, that you're still working on it. But what do you do on an ongoing basis for yourself? Like, I'm kind of curious if you can spill
Yeah,
the tea.
well, definitely. So I want to actually continue with that, like with the I have like specific voice, like practices that I do, but I want to just stay with this authentic expression
Mm,
for just a second, because it can be really, like I start with doing this on my own in a safe container. And now I'm also like, right now I'm in a situation where I have been challenged to just express myself instead of keeping it in and like becoming resentful.
oh yeah, yeah.
Instead expressing it. And I have been very very unsafe in that, like whenever there are reasons why we shut down and are not and are afraid of expressing ourselves authentically, because like we have been experiencing trauma in that area when we did so. um but so like, to really practice that in a safe container when you are at home, I actually just recently, like I think in January and February, I have been coming across a technique It's a German technique, or it's not a German technique, but I was like working with a German practitioner on that. But it's like about shaking, so like really shaking
Yeah.
off the trauma, connecting to a trauma. That's like very, like the basics, but connecting to a trauma in the body and then shaking it off. And I was doing that, and I was like in a house, like all alone in the wilderness. Thank God, because if anyone had seen me, oh my God. And like I was not only shaking and like looking like a maniac probably, just like shaking in my house,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
but also of course voicing all the anger that was stored within
Oh,
me,
wow, that's
and like
powerful.
just voicing that. If you have a space where you can do that without people calling the police or something, I highly recommend it. So-
Oh my gosh, you're gonna see me. You're gonna see me. Like I live in a neighborhood where I don't really have like much. Like all the houses are kind of like very close to each other. So sometimes I am the crazy neighbor that hugs the tree, and I'm the crazy neighbor that sits under the tree, and I'm the crazy neighbor that some like even like right now before this session I was outside with my feet on the ground just kind of moving around. But I don't know if I feel comfortable yelling off the top of my lungs. I think they will call the police on me at that point.
Yeah, you'll have to be careful with that. They would have called it if there had been any neighbors. I'm pretty sure that like somebody would have like, "Hello, is everything okay?" But yeah, so like that is like, like really you need the space to do that. But if you have, it's really, really good because you can really express yourself. Also, like things like if you have trauma, of course, like if you have severe trauma with that, then I highly would recommend to work with a practitioner on these topics.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
and for example, Gestalt therapy would also be like, because I think in Gestalt therapy, you are really like also expressing, like really physically acting out things often. So that can be very helpful. Anyways, like other techniques are, I actually work a lot with the chakras, or it always like has it's always in cycles. Like I do it for a time, then I stop, and then I do it again. And there are some different practices that you can do where you kind of like go through the chakras, and we can work on the throat singularly, or like like focus only on the throat. I would however recommend to do it um always in combination with the other chakras, especially the root
Mm,
and the heart, because
mm,
if you work on the throat a lot, and like like just like activate this area a lot, then you can like kind of like is that's not really a good word, but overregulate. It's probably
yeah.
contradictory, that word, but um yeah, it can be a bit too much. And I think at least for me specifically, the throat area is very sensitive because it has so much to do with our authenticity and our truth. So it needs to come from a grounded place. And so I really recommend to work like at least ground, really, really ground before you go through the throat. And that's also interesting because when we, like in singing lessons, when you are doing a warm up, you not just start belting around. You do a warm up, and you go through all in a way you go through all the chakras. You are really practicing your base, because you need that base. You need to have a firm base and standing on firm ground, so to say, in order to have the stability here, in order to express yourself safely, actually, because otherwise you will get a scratchy voice. Very
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
And so also like with the higher notes, you go through the higher notes, and then when you after the warm up, you start to really express the songs or whatever. um so there are specific toning practices. I really love the ones with vowels, so you use specific vowels to go through the chakras. And you can do this like just with yourself, without anything else. But you can also, I like to do that often with music that I have on Spotify, for example. I have like one album that I worked with a lot. It's from Jonathan Goldman. It's called Chakra Chants. Jonathan Goldman and somebody else. I don't know. I did not do the research before, but it's called Chakra Chants, and they are quite long. I think 7 minutes a track. So that's if you go through all the chakras and every chakra has
Yeah.
minutes, it takes a long time. But you can also just like use just do it for 3 minutes and then move on.
Yeah.
I mean, there are, there just be creative. And there are also other things that you can find. Like if you just Google or look for chakra sounds or something, then you can use this as a base in order to sing on top of that. And then with the vowels, which I really love, there are also like a little differences. You can also just Google that. There are, like everybody is like a bit different in those, but mostly they agree on the root being the vowel ö and u. So and that's immediately grounding me.
It's happening in action right now. It's like yeah, I can see that because it is like ooh, it is very very deep. It goes deep into the root, right?
Yeah.
When we connect to that, and it vibrates. So I mean, I guess we could all practice right now together if everyone wants to do it.
Mhm.
Let's
It's
let's do it.
actually in a way it's like you giving yourself an inner massage
Oh,
through.
that's beautiful. Yeah, I love that. I
Mhm.
love that you're calling it an inner massage. Never thought about it that way,
That's
but yeah,
right,
that
yeah.
makes a lot. Yeah, that's amazing.
So
Yeah.
when you do this, be sure to focus on your root chakra and use the tone. So like also the how do you say that in English? Um, like the height? No. What's it called? Like
The
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 like deeper tones or higher notes, like higher notes and deeper notes. Is that
yeah, the
the
bass you mean the bass or
yeah? Like
the
not if you go to the root, don't pick a high note, but a deeper note, so you can
okay.
actually feel it in your root. That's like the point, like you need to
Okay.
feel it in your root, and then you can also be creative with the ooh. You can like try around a little bit and do the sound that works best for you. So all right, we're doing it together.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
So
Okay.
feel into your root center and then take a deep breath. Very well.
That's incredible. I felt it. I felt it on my root. I really did feel it on my root. That was incredible. I hope
Very.
that y'all followed us, okay? No, I'm just saying, I'm telling the audience that I hope everyone followed us on this, and then that you tried it with us. But if you didn't, then you want to go back into the replay and do it with us, because that was
Thank
powerful.
you.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So like, and then so the throat can help us connect to all of these centers, all of these energy centers.
Mm. And that's also
Yeah.
I really like that way because you can if you're going to like in 2020 I worked a lot with Kundalini energy and I could really feel the centers. That was really interesting. Like
Yeah.
something really opened up and then it shut down again. Story for another time. But it was really really interesting. So I'm definitely going to do that again at some point in history. But through sound you can really connect to you can almost physically feel those centers, so I
Yeah.
think it's a really good way to connect with that. So shall we continue through the chakras so I can
I love that. Let's do it. Let's do it.
all right.
Everyone tried it. Look, like Betsy and Cece are good students over here. They're learning with us. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, next one.
All right, next one is the second chakra, the
Okay.
sacral chakra. So
Okay.
connect to the sacral chakra. feel into it. Maybe even put a hand on your belly if you feel like it. That's, like the seat of the sexual energy also, or the Kundalini energy, together with the root, I guess. And the sound is like, take a deep breath in. And we're sounding on ooh and ooh.
Wow. I felt it too. Exactly in that same energy center. That's incredible. I don't have as long as a voice, like, because I also deal with asthma, so my what is it, my length is a little shorter than yours, but it's okay. I do it again to follow with you. To follow you.
It doesn't
It's
matter
all
how
good.
long it is.
I do the way I can, but yeah,
Usually,
that's incredible. That's incredible. I felt it, and it felt a little lighter too. Like it
Mhm,
feel like the root feels very, you know,
mhm,
very
mhm.
grounding. And this one is it's still very very good, but it's not as like intense as the root was, which is really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What one? Damn it! I slipped my mind. Anyways, I just have a thought. And now I hear myself. I will just turn off my. Oh no, it's gone. Okay, I just heard myself like in the feedback. All right. Yeah, like, and also you can be creative, like especially with the sacral chakra. I really like to, like get a little more into this pleasurable kind of sense to really connect. I connect to the ocean most of the time because that is like I don't know why, but it makes me feel pleasure. No, it's like the watery energy, right? Like to be in flow and to connect with that. And you can play around, as I said, like you don't have to take the same note as me. Take the note that works best for you. Take the note that works best for you.
Right. Look at Cece. She's saying, "Who needs sound tools when you got your throat?" It's so
Exactly.
true. So that's the reason why we want to activate that throat chakra. That's what we're doing today together. That's what we're doing, activating that throat chakra together. I love that.
Exactly. All right, let's move on to the third chakra,
Okay.
solar plexus chakra. So visualize that chakra. Mm, take a deep breath in. And this chakra goes on awe.
Okay.
And really play around so you can really until you really feel it in the and with this one specifically, I also really love to mix it up with another practice I can share with you in a second. And that is like I can share with you now. The I actually don't know how it's called, but it's like you use syllables, I would say. And those syllables are lam for the
Okay.
and then vam for the
Um,
second chakra, and ram for the third chakra. And I really like it because that is like really the ram is like really getting me activated there. I don't know. I really feel also like reminds me of Aries, the ram, I guess. I know it's like
yeah, like I'm here, powerful. Yeah, I love it, and it feels and it really. I hope that everyone is. I hope that you guys are practicing this on your own, because that's the only way you know. It's like by you actually doing this. I felt it. That so far, all three I've felt, and it's incredible. Like this is something that we can do in meditation. So now I'm curious to know what you use for the heart.
mhm. For the heart, it's ah. Some people also say aum. That also depends. Some people say for the third eye, aum or om, but that is just depending. I'm using ah most of the time because that really opens me up. So
I love that. I
it
see what you're
also
saying. Yeah.
there feel into the space, and it can be a bit higher than what I
Mhm.
do, a bit lower. Just like try around a little bit. All
Yeah.
right. So Feel into the heart center. That's like almost the most important. I mean, they're all important, but that is like the place that we want to come from and speak from. So take a deep breath. Wonderful. Yeah, you have to get into like until you feel this warm feeling and like it's
Yeah.
an embrace. And for me, that was like actually this chakra took me a while, and also the throat took me a while to get, and sometimes they still do, because I guess they were like really closed for me, or like not easily accessible. And with the heart center, I also often use the next one from the other practice, and that is called yam, because it's like
Yum. Yeah.
it's like
Yum.
yam.
Yeah, I feel it. It's interesting how they all connect to all the different, when you really connect to each one, like how it's almost like that part of your energy field once it resonates with that sound, like that. It's almost like you're calling that part of your energy field. It's really interesting,
I like you're calling that part of your energy.
Yeah.
Like that.
Right? Kind of like that card that you said call, like that's the calling. That's interesting.
And there in this depiction, I don't know if you saw them, but they also like this angel has the trumpet. I think
Yeah.
Gabriel is the one with the trumpet. You are good with the archangels, isn't there? Like, or like with the conch. Is it called?
So the one with the trumpet, I believe, is Gabriel. And I don't know, but the one with the conch, I would have to find out which one it is.
Maybe I think that it might be the same, but they are like like depending on the mythology or
yeah. Okay.
Christian mythology probably made the trumpet out of the conch. I guess.
Maybe the
Not
conch
sure.
became the trumpet. Who knows? Yeah, that's incredible. So, what is the sound that we should use for the throat?
There is like the I. I'm also like interchanging like from to a.
Okay.
All right. And take a deep breath. Focus on the area of your throat and ask it gently, like or kindly, to open up and to help you express yourself safely and authentically.
Wow.
How's that for you?
That was incredible. It was really like right there, it was there in the throat. It was incredible. Like I could feel like, wow, this is so fascinating to me. This is so fascinating. Like, wow. And then this is just knowing the vowels, and then not the vowels, well, the vowels, and then just using them in that. Wow, this is so. With the what would you use for the for the other, like, I guess, is there like another
Yeah,
sound?
yeah. That's hum.
Hum.
Hum. Hum. Sometimes I have to also find the right tone first, right? Oh no, sometimes, yeah. So, sometimes. Yeah. Hum.
I also feel like kind of like on the high heart too. Like, you know how they call the high heart? There's the heart and the high, like the high part of the heart, which is the connection to the throat. It almost feels like there's that. It also, like, that hum was kind of like touching that in the throat, like that connection to the heart and the throat. That's interesting.
That's an interesting point also, because I have been like within a meditation, and also so like I came across that the throat and the neck are actually, because the neck is also part of the throat chakra, but that there's actually like a very important, I want to say, gate entry point for prana, for
Oh.
life force energy in the throat or in the neck area. It's called Mudala oblongata. I think I noted it down, maybe even somewhere. Oblongata. Oh, damn it, I forgot. It's called something. Anyways, like, but I cannot say so much about that point. I kind of have the feeling like I feel that it's very important actually on a spiritual, esoterical level, through our evolvement, like through our own unique path of evolving, spiritually and as humans. um, but yeah, so I cannot say so much about that, but just want to give you that because that it's an like this awareness, of that the throat actually is, um a very important center. I mean, all of them are important, but yeah, it's there's like something specific to that center, but I cannot say
Mm.
more about it.
Yeah, I mean, we could always, research and expand into that. So thank you for sharing that. So with that, but that, and it makes sense because think about it, like that's what we use to, like we use the voice to do so many, like it can be so powerful. The
I
words that we
think,
use can
yeah.
be so powerful. And so, when we're, think about it, the throat is right here. We're we have the root, and everything that comes up, it has to pass to the throat.
Mhm,
The root, the sacral, and so these are all very important aspects of our experience here, these energy centers,
mhm,
including the heart, of course, like all four of those. And then we get to the throat, the fifth chakra, and it's kind of like that, expression of all of these elements of who we are. So it makes a lot of sense, especially when you were saying earlier that the throat chakra is connected to our, it's, I mean, everything is spiritual to me, but it's a very spiritual, connection to your soul and that soul calling, right? Like that
mhm,
was, that really was really interesting when you said that. It really impacted the way I see my voice now.
mhm,
It's like that
mhm.
calling of my soul, like, yeah, this is sacred. Our voice is sacred.
Yeah.
um so, all right, so I'm just kind of curious to know, what do you use for the third eye and for the crown?
So for the third eye, I use the E, A,
Okay.
and then for the crown, it's E. So we will just do it together now.
Okay.
So and it's like it goes way higher now. So like I use a different voice because it's like I don't know how it's called in English actually, but it's like you sing into this area. So you're right now we were like more like singing from here and from the chest and from the bottom. Now we go into the more the nasal
Oh,
sound.
the
Okay,
nasal.
so
Okay.
to penetrate this area to
Yeah.
activate the pineal gland because all of this work is also like working with the glands, which is also a super interesting topic. I don't know if you feel
Okay.
this topic is so large we could like talk
Yeah.
for hours about
We
it.
could talk about it for hours. Yeah. You can always come back. We can talk more. It's all good.
I like that. All right. So focus on your pineal gland or your third eye area and like really try to sing into this or through this if you never have singing lessons or something through this nasal point here between the eyes. Actually, if you focus on that area you will get the right sound. It's like a little like this kind of
Mm,
feel
okay.
with it. So
Okay.
focus on that area, take a deep breath.
That was a little harder for me.
That was horrible. You want to try again?
No, no, no. Yeah, let's do it again. Let's try it again. No, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, take a deep breath.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
can also try with like just like make it easier to like to get used to that kind of voice
Yeah.
in a way like with like. it's like
putting
you
my
open
tongue,
it.
putting my tongue on the
Mhm.
palate up there. Okay.
Exactly. Mm.
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 Oh, okay. I see. I see it now. I see what you mean.
It's like,
Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you can practice that on your own and like just get that. This is like also already working. You know, like when you do this, mm,
Mm.
you're already working with that chakra. So
I'm
wish my
having fun. We're just having fun making noises today. I love it. I feel like a child, like when you were a child and you're just having fun. Like that's how I feel right now.
Yeah,
So that's good.
actually, I was like, I started to give also holistic singing lessons, and this is like part of what we do in those singing lessons to, like explore, get really connected to the voices of your body because this is the instrument you use to produce them. So makes, makes sense. All right, let's get into the last one. It's very, very similar, just a
Okay.
little bit higher even, but you
Okay.
can do again. You can take a lower pitch. I think it's called in English. I'm not so sure. So that you can do it lower. This is just like working for me very well. But if
Okay.
something a lower note works for you, then that's all you need.
Okay. I think I'll keep it on the low because I think I'm meant to be on the low.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
All right, and the sound is E, and I will share with you in a second the other two sounds
Okay.
from the other technique. All right, so focus on your crown, on the crown center, and really try to sing into the center, like really on top of your head. Take a deep breath in. And let's keep it a bit shorter today, like these two ones, because they're so high, and I don't know how you perceive this.
I actually, so I have to say, I did feel it now that I did it on my tone. I did feel it actually. I
Mhm.
was afraid that if I didn't go as high as you did, that I wasn't gonna touch that area, but I did feel it up here. And when we were doing that, like I also felt that, like I could feel like tingling on my third
Mhm.
eye.
Mhm.
So yeah, so that's definitely. So I guess for those of you who are out there who have like a deeper voice, that you can you it still works. You don't have to be as high as, kind of like what what we were saying. You have to find the tone that's right for you, but then just kind of like set that, use the vowel. I think the vowel is what really anchors the energy, which is really good.
And that you have to feel it. You just have to
Yeah.
use any other sound. You can do whatever you want, but you need to feel it in this area. So like, and that's actually in a way like toning in general is like very, very good to open up your throat because there's like, like Chloe Goodchild, for example, she has like beautiful courses on, I think one is called The Naked Voice. I'm not sure if that is the one that where she's like studying this, but like where she's like helping people to to connect to their authentic voice and to start to bring that out. And a lot of people have trauma around that. Like almost
Mm,
everyone in Germany that I know of is like has like this idea that they are not able to sing, which is, I mean,
yeah.
I'm laughing because it's obviously it's bullshit. But of course it's also like very, very sad because like it just shows how suppressed um we are and like how much trauma people experienced and like what negative feedback like yeah they got actually through their life. But like yeah, so like toning in general and just voicing like just sitting there and toning, just voice whatever you wants to be expressed through you. That is very, very helpful. That's very, very helpful. We are
Yeah.
on a schedule here, right?
That's so powerful. Yes, absolutely. And I know that we didn't even discuss that we were gonna do this, but I just kind of felt so excited when you were saying about all these different things, and I was like, okay, let's definitely do this. But I know that you prepared a short healing for
Yeah.
us, so we can do that, and then we can segue into the readings. I know y'all are waiting for readings. But who is ready for some healing, tones with, where you can just sit there and receive. I know right now we were working together, but I think it was really good. And then, Cece was saying something really interesting. She said, I can see this as a perfect breath exercise too. And
Mm.
yes, I agree. I agree. It is like I was feeling like, okay, I could definitely do a little bit more breath work here. But I've been dealing with my allergies here, like this is springtime, so all of the
Oh,
pollen,
oh.
woo, is doing its thing for me this year. But yeah, people are ready for the healing session. So great. So you tell me, Hannah, how do you want me to do this? So do you want me to just play
Um,
it, or
so this is
how?
a little different than the last time. So I was focusing on the throat area.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's also shorter, so it's only like short, not even 7 minutes. Um, you can just, as always with the voice alchemy and the sound healing, you can use headphones. That in this case, I actually also listen to it over my computer, and this, because it's a bit more expressive. Let's just put it like that. So it also, for me, it worked also very well just through my normal speakers.
Okay.
Um, but normally, usually, I recommend headphones, but not don't turn the volume all up. So like, because you don't want to get shocked.
Okay.
And yeah, other than that, just get in a relaxed position. I will also check in while we are listening and do some more healing on top of that. And for the group, so if you want to receive that, you can just say to yourself that you want to receive it. And if you don't, then just say no. That's like
And
you're already practicing. Say yes, say no.
yeah,
Only
exactly. Practice it now. You can say no, you can say yes at this moment. It's okay. This is for those who want to receive. So just let me know when you want me to hit play.
you can yeah, it's just okay. Let's just do a little um uh, oh, give me a second. I just heard a noise in the house. I'm sorry, but because there should not be anyone here, so I'm a bit irritated. I guess it's okay. I'm gone in a few minutes. No, it will be fine. All right. All right. So just get into a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Connect to your root center. Maybe put one hand on your stomach and one hand on your heart area, and just get in a relaxed position so you and tell you so your body is able and ready to receive. And as we take a few more breaths and get ready, you can hit the play button. And you can slowly come back, integrate, and focusing on the root chakra for a second and ground the information in. And also, if you feel like you want to shake, then I would encourage you to shake yourself a little bit. or move your body a little bit, so to help the energy to move. And like this tune, I created another one actually. I will upload both also on YouTube and on Instagram, I guess. And with this tune, it's actually, you can just um take this tune and like as an orientation on how to work on your body yourself, because you can, at least I can perceive where I am at, like I go into the body and to the energetic body and the physical body and activate the certain parts. I sing into those areas. So, and like for example, in the end, I was like focusing a lot on the heart, and then starting to bring the sound from the heart through into the throat. And this is like, I highly recommend that just sit with yourself, feel into your body, and feel like, how does my leg feel? And then express that, sing that. And it does not always sound nice. And that's, I mean, I uploaded this, so it's not always about that it sounds right. It's alchemy. We alchemize, so we use the sound in order to express also trauma, and trauma usually does not sound so nice.
Yeah.
So, like that's yeah, just this is like a good example of what you can do yourself and how you can work with sound yourself.
It doesn't have to be, perfect or pretty, it can just, because it's going to serve, like the voice is going to serve you in whichever way it's meant to serve you, whether it is sounding, maybe not what you expect it to sound, but, it's moving whatever it's moving for you, so that it's so powerful. And yeah, so I kind of wanted to segue into just reminding all of you that Hannah, she does a lot of sound healing events, and I think I've been to one of them so far, but the event was incredible, and it's so worth your time and your investment. And she's so graceful. She's always making it really affordable for people to join these group events, and I think she has one coming up. I think this weekend, right?
Mhm. On Sundays, the
On
next.
Sunday. So you would definitely want to go into her Instagram and go into Soul Vessel Mysteries on her Instagram and sign up for her. And I believe, is there another way that they can sign up? Can they reach out to you any other way apart from Instagram?
Yeah, like I actually prefer to that they like anyone who wants to participate writes me an email, because then I can also send out a lot of information about
Okay.
you and stuff. So
Yeah. So then you can, and I think I had your email here, but I don't
um,
know.
the email is, I will put it in the comments. I will put it in the
Okay,
comments.
put it in the comments so that they can get it. And so, but yeah, definitely do. In the meantime, at least go into her Instagram if you want to participate. I highly recommend that you go to her events and you keep up with her. She has also a YouTube channel, also under Soul Vessel Mysteries, that where she's constantly posting things, things like this for healing. So
Mhm.
I want to invite you to really go in there and subscribe to her channel, follow her on Instagram, support her, book a session with her. Her sessions, she just posted some new information on sessions that she's offering right now. So if you want to work with her, sound healing through the voice is very, very powerful. I received it not only from Hannah, but also from other practitioners. And I can't express to you how powerful it is. There's something about the voice that just pierces through the subconscious mind, the sound, and it just goes, it pierces through the ego, and it just goes directly where it needs to go. And it's very precise and directs that healing into different places. So, and the thing is that, the reason why I present this to you guys is because I want you to see that there's so many ways that you can get healing. And yes, for example, I am a spiritual response therapy practitioner, but that's not the only aspect, right? We also want to look at other aspects, other angles of our being. We're multidimensional beings, so the sound and the voice healing can also be another aspect that maybe if it calls you in your heart, you can reach out to Hannah, and support you and all that. So yeah, so thank you so much for following and supporting Hannah, and hopefully you guys get to go to her event this Sunday, right?
Yeah, this Sunday, and we will be working with the upcoming solar eclipse in Aries.
Yes.
So personal power is the topic of that one. So we already started working on that today.
Yeah,
So
connecting to the voice. We were powerfully connecting to the voice today, directing it place it towards our energy centers and healing and moving energies. So, and then Catherine said that she got goosebumps while shaking off at the end. So look at that.
that's good. So you were releasing energy and like moving it
Yes.
around. Awesome.
So Amy said, I felt a sharp pain running up and down my spine as soon as that started.
Mm.
Wow. That's
The,
it. That's yeah.
Actually, I thought about it. If I can, just because like when I was doing the healing, oh, there was like stuff coming up. Jikara, I have to share with you
Yeah.
because I was working on the back of the neck, on the neck, and there is like the spine and the neck themselves are often like I the healing modality that I was trained in is called metaphysical anatomy. So like that's kind of like how I started my path, and with that I learned that on the spine there's often like ancestral trauma sitting there, and that is really interesting to know, right? Especially if you have pain in the spine or connected to the spine or the back area, then of course in order to be able to express ourselves authentically, we have to work through that ancestral trauma, unfortunately.
Mm.
So
Yeah, then that's
yeah, I was
powerful.
working on that, and I also saw the blue lotus
Oh, you saw the Blue Lotus? Yay!
that came up.
I
I was
love
like,
it.
oh, look at that in the throat area. It
Yeah,
was
that's incredible. I love that. Yeah, so Amy saying so that's so interesting. Because she's the one that said that she felt that sharp pain going up. So that means, Amy, that she was touching some of that for you as well. So, and all of us are going to receive what we need at the moment, right? So that's the beauty of it. And then Cece was saying that makes sense. And then she said that she followed you too. So that's good. And, Betsy saying thank you so much. And Cece saying that your voice is so angelic. And yes, I agree. Peggy saying thank you. This is great. I'm so happy that you guys are so open to receive. So right now we're gonna do readings. Okay, this is the time we're gonna do readings, and we'll segue into that after that beautiful, invigorating healing session that we received from you. Thank you. So if you want to receive any readings, we can I guess bounce off each other. Hannah, you want to do that? Do like a you and I, or
yes.
you
Let's
want
do
to do
it.
like a combo? Okay.
Hmm.
So if y'all want a reading, just place it in the comments, and then we can, and then if your name is not part of your handle, please put your first name, so that we can connect to you, and all that good stuff. In the meantime, I just kind of wanted to just remind y'all that, subscribe to this channel, share and like this video. And then also sign up for my email list at thebloominglotushealing.com, because I have a lot of things happening. And if you want to join my Cosmic Light Activation membership, that's where you will be able to find out is if you are part of my email list. So make sure that you sign up for that. And so with that said, I think I see some questions here saying yes, I would love a reading. So there's 3 people here, so we're going to start with Amy. And so if you say that you want a reading, then we're going to go ahead and assume that it's a general reading, unless you have a specific question. Okay. So Amy, so she said, I'd love to receive a reading if drawn. So of course we're drawn to you, girl, of course. So I'm going to actually prepare. In the meantime, if you have any questions, take this moment to place the specific question, if you want a specific question to be answered. And spirit animals are here today. I'll be pulling from my spirit animal deck today, and then we'll do a combined reading session today. I love doing that. Um,
right. So you ask what Amy needs to know in order for her to be in alignment with her highest good and the highest good of all. So I will pull some cards for this. We'll actually start with this deck. Okay.
She actually wants to know what's blocking her heart chakra.
Okay.
That was her question.
All right.
Okay.
Well, a big surprise has to do something with receiving. So yeah, I mean that is, like that is, I mean that makes total sense, and it has receiving also has to do with the feminine energies, right? So let me tune in for a second. So what I'm getting, I will show you the cards, and then I will pull some clarity cards, because like I was like immediately drawn to the receiving because we had the dove with the letter, so receiving messages, receiving, yeah, and then we also have the woman, and we have I think that's the star, but I like these cards because they always depict a little more, and I'm showing you these also because in order for you to connect to them, because there are so many details in them, maybe you are drawn to specific detail. All right, so there seems to be a blockage in being able to be really connected to your, or really feeling comfortable and secure and safe in your feminine, to rest inside your feminine energies. That's the right word. So to rest, and to sit and to be in your feminine energy, and the feminine energy, or the yin energy. It's like, I think yin energy is like, it is a natural state of receiving, so a state of openness. And of course, for us women, often there is a blockage in that area because, like, I mean, there's like a lot of trauma in the, like a big part of, like, or like a feminine wound in the matter of being open for receiving something, and then receiving something that might be very, very painful and hurtful. So I'm like trying to, like, not trigger anyone or something. So I'm careful with my expression right now. All right. So what is it that you can do? What is most important for Amy to know so she can move through that? Okay, so there has actually been, that's interesting, because there seems to be like a loss of personal power, a loss of your personal power, as I would say, because we have the Queen of Swords in reverse. It came out in reverse, and the Queen of Swords is like a person who is able to speak her truth, in a very balanced, and in a very balanced kind of way, in a very authentic kind of way. So she has absolutely no problem in expressing herself authentically, and she's not afraid of, like, receiving negative feedback or anything like that. And there seems to be a wound in that area, so that I kind of have the feeling it even has to do with not only the loss of that power, but the loss that that this wound stems from a place of loss, that you lost something, or felt like you lost something in your life, and as a feedback, or like as a reaction from you, you also kind of like gave up a part of your personal power with that, a part of your authenticity, you kind of like shut down that aspect of yours. I'm kind of having the feeling that it might have something to do with like feeling guilty. And that does not mean, like feeling guilty and being guilty are two very, very different things. So please, and sometimes I'm expressing myself and not realizing that it could be taken a different way, but that is like very, very important to understand. So you feeling guilty does not mean that you actually are guilty of something.
Mm.
So, and especially when we are children, I kind of have the feeling that it is coming from a place like from something that happened in childhood. Oh, I'm getting really sad. As for some one clarity card, I don't want to get too deep because it's also an open, like an um, a public reading. So yeah, I'm getting lost again. Loss of something, maybe someone walking away, something or someone walking away. I'm also, this could also be like a grandparent dying or something. Um, I have the feeling that's about a person going away in some way or form. And also with coming with that unprocessed um, unprocessed grief that still needs to be released. And also I'm getting a lot of messages also because you were the one with the spine, right? Amy was like
Yes,
saying,
she was
yeah.
the one. Yes.
I kind of also have the feeling that it's like that this pattern might come, this pattern might have started uh, in your ancestry line already. Whew, I'm really tensing up. So, whew, I can feel that really heavily. So, yeah. So, like that is that might be the topic. The action needed to make progress. I already said it, like that there is a need to process that grief, allow yourself to move through that, to address it, to be very brave in that area and to address that. Maybe not alone. You might want to look for someone, but also alone, but also someone, look for support, for someone who can facilitate for you or can you support you in that area, because I have the feeling it might not even, the initial trauma might not even have been so big, but because it's also ancestral, it has a massive effect on you. That's how I perceive it, that it has a very big effect, even though the initial trauma in your life might not even have been, like this incredibly traumatic event. I'm not sure about that. um and the action need to make progress is that's interesting, because I have the Three of Wands here, and the Queen of Wands. So it definitely has to do with like taking your power back. Like the Queen of Wands is like, like in, and also taking your, looking for, it's kind of has something to do with like looking for another destination, but it can also mean like not necessarily in a literal sense, but more like in the sense of perspective. um I'm getting that it has something to do with how you express yourself or what you do, like you creativity. um so to look for other ways, or to look into another area. It could also mean take your to take your, how do you say that, to view um away from a certain group of people, for example, or your family, for example, and to view into, like to look into a different direction, and that will open something up, that will free something up, like that there's like not only this limitation, that is like the thing, not focus on limitation and the path that is like kind of like the pathway that is connected to that limitation, or that is like representative for this limitation, but to shift into a different perspective. And then this whole new space opens up. And then this is like a very liberating moment. Yeah, very liberating, and that will reconnect you, that will make it easy for you, or easier for you to step back into your powerful creative self. All right, I think that's from my side so far. What do you want to hop in?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to, well, first of all, I just kind of wanted to just share as you were talking and I was pulling the cards. So Amy, I just want to say, Spirit showed me this deck that I have behind that little deck that's a chakra deck. It was like Spirit just kind of like said, no other deck wants to speak to her right now. But then after I pulled from those cards, then other decks wanted to speak. So this is the main deck that wanted to come forward for you. And the first card that came is the card of ignorance. Okay. And this card, what that lets me know is that there's still a part of you that is, and I don't think there's ignorance. What it really, to me, is more choosing to ignore those little nudges from spirit, right? Like the little nudges. There's still some nudges coming through for you. So like doing a little bit of work and so that you can let go. I feel that you have been receiving strong messages so far about certain things that are kind of just stuck in your being, in your thoughts process, in the way that you've been the perspective that you've had, and like shifting perspectives. And I feel that at this moment the wolf spirit came through, and the wolf spirit, what he's saying is, listen, let's take all of the things that we've been through at this moment and turn this into wisdom. How do we alchemize this experience into the wisdom, that deep wisdom that we can pull from, right? All of these painful experiences, kind of like going back to what Hannah was mentioning, having this unprocessed grief. When you do this, there's nothing to be afraid of in the fact that as you go through this unprocessed grief, you're going to be growing deeper into your wisdom and standing strong in that space. And I feel like that's the card of the wolf that's really coming forth for you. And it was funny because I feel as if there's like a push and pull internally for you.
Mm.
There's a push and pull happening, which it came up in both cards. Like it came up here and it came up here, right? So it's like, obviously there is, spirit is basically saying, hey, I really want you to see. It's like in your face, right? Like, I'm not gonna let you walk away today without you knowing that this push and pull that's happening is happening. And so it's time to let go. It's time to process and let go. But you don't have to do it all at once, right? Don't worry. You don't have to like figure it all out at once. Just take one little step at a time, and then you'll get there, right? So like that's just like the beautiful turtle message here. It's like kind of bringing you back into that, of course, the awareness, right? Like the awareness of what Hannah has pulled, because she pulled in some really interesting energies that are really a reflection of the things that you've already been feeling inside. Is it like sometimes we choose not to listen because we don't want to do it, right? But just know that you don't have to take it all at once, right? So just, there's nothing to be afraid of. So I kind of wanted to share that with you. And she says she's 100% constantly conflicted. And I feel you. I feel you, my love.
That's super interesting, because also like what I shared earlier about the spine, and the main thing that's like conflict in values. So your own path, your own values are in conflict with the family values, most probably.
That's
So,
deep. Yeah, that is so deep, because family values are not always the healthiest, right? Like especially depending on the family, you
yeah,
know.
and
Yeah.
most of the time, not even I mean, the family, like it's like Christian values or like religious values that
Oh,
you.
I see.
It's like a consciousness that
Yeah.
actually is not in alignment with anyone in this family, but
Right.
because it's coming from such a long tradition and it's so heavily implemented, and you have to be like that in order to belong. And belonging is one of our most important needs. We need to belong. So
Mm.
that's like very, very important for us. So it's very, I have like, I've been through that. It's like not easy to deal with that, with like if there's like a strong conflict in values with your own unique soul path and the family values. Then that's, I mean, it's, you can do it. But it's a big conflict. It's a big
Yeah.
conflict, but
Yeah.
it's very helpful to make it aware. If you're aware of it, that it's, like that, what it actually is, it will help you, because it will be easier for you to see it more objectively.
Yeah, I love that so much. And yeah, so hopefully, well, Amy is on the comments here just like, thank you, thank you. So this definitely helped her. So I'm sending you so much love, Amy. And, just know that we, as far, she's all the way in Australia, just so you know, Amy.
Mm.
So I know that you're far away, but I'm sending you all my love and I'm sending you a virtual hug your way. And just know that, even if we're far apart from each other, just know that I am just, my heart goes to you. And then, and that's what we're here for, right? Like coming back into these places, this is why this channel is here, just this family. We come in and share with each other and walk each other home and remind each other of our sacredness and remind each other of the power that we have, right? So you definitely have all the power to move through this. You got this. You got this. So I feel complete. How about you, Hannah?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm gonna disconnect from Amy's higher self now. Thank you, Spirit. Please disconnect. All right. So I guess we will go to the next person. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so we got okay, Cece would love a reading. And we're gonna go for she sent the love back. Amy sent her love back to us. So we're doing general reading for Cece. She didn't have a specific question.
So the first thing that I'm perceiving is kind of like, um, are you, like, that's like a question. Are you in a state right now, or in a situation right now where you there I see you like kind of like um being afraid of something and trying to get away from that. Um Not necessarily in a panicky mode or something, so like nothing too nothing horrifying or something, but something that is like keep coming up, like almost like haunting you in a way. Again, not I'm not getting like uh yeah, like a very like, yeah. I don't know how to say that sometimes. It's not too serious, let's just put it like that. But yeah, that's like the first thing that I'm getting. Um Question is, what is that? And yeah, like the sense, of course, like I'm getting like it would be beneficial to face it, because it's there. It's like something that's like, it's, as I said, like kind of like haunting you, and it would be really good to face it, to just walk towards it. It's like, like I see actually a dragon, and I don't perceive you as being, as I said, like in a panicky mode. Not at all. I see you as, I perceive you as very capable of facing that dragon, whatever it is representing. And it's just a matter of like, like, let's just do it. Let's just get it over with. Let's just yeah, take a look at it. I will pull some cards. You feel free to hop in, Jikara. I will.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to because I usually use my pendulum to see which deck wants to speak to you, right? Like because every deck has its personality, and I am pulling from the Rose Oracle from Rebecca Campbell for you, um, C. And so there's a really interesting conversation here happening for you, right? In spirit, and spirit really coming forth. And so I the first card that came up is the card of the Great Mother, and then the second card is the card after the rain, and I'll go over what all of this means all together. And then the Anointed card, okay. And then the Spirit Animal deck wanted to speak to you, and the Peacock card came up, okay. And I'm gonna piece this together for you. So when I see this combination of cards, I see that there is a calling, it's an ancestral calling that's been really moving through you at this moment. And that ancestral calling goes deep into very deep places. Like when I tap into it, it's the DNA, right? It's the DNA. It comes from a deep place, and it comes from a place of void too. So it's like it's a place of darkness, but darkness is not a bad thing. Darkness can be beautiful, because that's where, that's how the womb is. The womb is dark, right? And that's kind of like where I'm being guided to kind of talk about. It's about the womb. And so, and in the womb we have all of these, you know codes that are very connected to our ancestors, and connected to, our gifts as women, and so that's kind of like the essence of what wants to come through for you. It's that calling has been something that you've been connecting to lately. And so spirit is kind of like acknowledging the fact that you have been answering that calling, that great calling of the grandmother, of the mother, of the deep connection with the feminine in your own lineage. Okay. And so what I see here is that, the message is kind of like bringing in the fact that you've done so much work. You're being celebrated right now. And also understand that all of the alchemy that you've done, it's being acknowledged by your ancestors, especially the women in your family and the women ancestry in your family on both sides. They're really acknowledging this, and they're coming through. And I feel that so I'm gonna say this to you, and I don't know if you've been thinking about this, but there is a calling for you to stand in your power, in your healership, in whichever way that you are meant to do this. I'm not here to tell you how you're going to do it, but I'm here to tell you that there is the essence that is coming through. And that is what these two cards are really saying here. Okay. These two cards, what they're saying is that, you have these soul gifts that were given to you, handed to you by the ancestors, like by the women of your family that were connected to these gifts. And this is your divine and sacred gift. So I want to invite you to really connect to that, right? Because sometimes we feel like, oh, because I didn't go to this, or I didn't do that, or well, I should have gone to this school, or I should have gone to mystery school, whatever. All of these things all of these constructs that are masculine in nature. No, you claim your power through your intuition. Okay. And you allow yourself to be in that embodiment. So I just kind of wanted to share, and this felt very ancestral, what was coming in through in here. And I know that this might be like, okay, like this might be a little too much, like I don't know, like can I do this, like am I worthy? Just stop, take a deep breath, and know that you are, and know that you're able, and know that you have everything that you need to actually do this. You know why? Because otherwise it wouldn't have even this need of this calling that you've answered for a while now. You wouldn't have done it. It wouldn't have come to you in the first place. It wouldn't. Period. So I just kind of wanted to just really give you that opportunity to really accept accept this gift. Give yourself that opportunity to accept it, and find, in your heart, how you want to express this moving forward. And then again, it's all about the calling and really feeling into what intuitive is meant for you. So that's all I have for you, and I'm complete. Do you have anything else to add? I don't know if there's
Yeah,
anything else you wanted to add before.
I I just like I got so many chills while you were speaking. So like and like I also heard a few things. So what I heard like was exactly like just confirmation about that. So to like just what you said, like face the dragon, and I heard the wound is where the wisdom is, and the wound is where all the answers lie. That is like all the answers are there. You just so, like in facing whatever this is. I also had this card that's like the 9 of Wands in the traditional tarot, but in this deck it's like facing, like it's facing the um the it's like the star is in the wound holds the biggest gift. The That's like also like what I often say, like our deepest wound holds our highest potential. So, and I can, while Jakara was speaking, I was like really like feeling this, uh yeah, there's also like sometimes a sadness because we are challenged by the calling, right? And like sometimes
Mm.
some part of us don't want to do it because it's like it feels like such a big challenge and such a sacrifice also sometimes. And but the answers are all there, the answers are there. And to anchor into that, to anchor into that wound. And also like, also interesting because also we have the fool here, beautiful fool. It's like the, you know, like when you move through that, that's like the childlike natural state. And he also has, or she in this depiction has this trumpet again, so like the calling. So that's just like for me like the confirmation of everything Jakara said. So I had goosebumps the whole time.
I love it. So hopefully this resonated for you, Cece. And just, I mean, you are so loved and supported by your ancestors. I felt that very strongly, and so I feel complete. And I am disconnecting now. Thank you, Spirit. All right. So thank you. Hmm. So now moving on to another person here. So I see that um, Kay Erickson, she would love a reading, and her name is Kate. Her name is Kate. And Cece said, "Thank you. This absolutely resonated. I am working on it." It's okay. Just I guess this just came through for you so that you could get that confirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah.
All right. So okay. With Kate, I'm getting sweetness. Not all sure what it means yet, but I'm like seeing sweets actually, like, but like candy, and but I'm getting sweetness from that. So let's just take a deeper or a closer look into that. Take this. I actually, yeah, I'm gonna take this back.
And I guess my decks are speaking. My other decks are speaking to Kate. So I'm pulling some other decks right now for you, Kate.
Hmm. Okay, maybe you are being, what is like the okay, the word I'm looking for a different word, but the word that came through is being treated. So maybe you are actually receiving nice treatment in some area. But okay, so like this is the temptation card, and I the first card that came out was the devil. So um I guess there's like this. Let's just not. Let's just. I will get deeper into it before I speak. Continue to speak. But there seems to be, so like the temptation card in this deck is it the devil card? No, transformation. Oh, it's not temptation. I'm sorry. It's a transformation card. Okay. All right. Sorry. There's also a temptation card in here, but it did not come up. All right. So that's a different message. Mm. So I kind of have the feeling, that there is like this word temptation did come up for a reason. So there is something that is very tempting or seems to be very tempting for you. Um I mean, with the devil card, it can, like look closely. I'm not yeah, maybe also the question, like the question for you, is there a chance that you might not see the red flags, or like might like, you know, like try not to listen to the red flags, because we had like the king of air and the messenger of air coming out, but both came out in reverse. So, and then depicted as angels in this deck, so messengers, kind of have the feeling that maybe be careful, be a bit careful about, or watch out for, be mindful of what your ego wants and what is actually really good for you. And it does not mean that's, I'm not getting the sense that something is like, you know, like terribly bad or something, but be mindful of that. That's like the first thing that comes through from my side. Maybe even moving away from something. I will pull another clarity card for the action needed to make progress. Okay.
And then if I don't know if you mind me adding something to here to what you're saying, but Kate, what I found here is that there's a little bit of shadow work, kind of going back to that, because I was tying in when you were talking about the devil and the temptation card. That was kind of the message that I saw that came through, which is, you know, really nourishing the shadow and doing the shadow work. And so I'm getting the message that this is actually your like doing the shadow work right now is the most important thing for you, so that you can anchor the things that you're calling in. It feels as if you've been, so this is interesting because the unicorns came forward. So the unicorns, what that lets me know is that you really are looking to anchor into into the light. Like that's really what you want. And it was interesting because as I was connecting to the cards, I felt like something was missing. So when I went out, so this is the acknowledgement. Okay. This is the acknowledgement of spirit letting you know that yes, that intention of connecting to the light is there. That connection to connecting to the good things in life are there. But there's also that, like that other side that cannot be ignored, which is to really anchor yourself into your what is it that is in the dark right now that you are not paying attention to, that is kind of hindering. It could be hindering your path, right? And so the message that I got for you, which was really interesting, was the way that you anchor your light, your the highest expression of your light, is by doing the shadow work. So like if you want that I am, which that calling is there. So you've been calling this in, the I am presence, what is here, letting you know that it's hearing you. Yes, but who are you? You know, who are you beyond, beyond what you want to express, but who are you now? And like, really anchoring yourself in who you are now, and being and doing again that shadow work, nourishing those parts of you that need to be felt and need to be witnessed and loved and accepted deeply, unconditionally. And that's the biggest thing. Like that's the key factor here, is like, show up for yourself unconditionally, because no one else can except for you, right? Because we sometimes we want to seek outside of ourselves, but really, that's the reason why we get failed over and over, because we have these expectations of people, right? Like, showing up for us. So, first and foremost, I feel like this is the answer for you. And so for you to anchor those things that you're calling in, you really anchor yourself in your shadows. And I really want to invite, shadow work is part of the light work. I mean, period. Shadow work is part of the light work. So really getting yourself into that space of recognizing, this part of me feels sore and there's a trigger here. Let me sit with this for a minute. Let me love upon this part of myself for a minute. That is the shadow work. Let me show up compassionately for myself, and maybe finding out, oh, why am I not showing compassionately right now? Maybe because I didn't receive it, but I get that invitation from the universe to do that for myself. And that's when you anchor that light, right? That is the moment, quite literally. That's the moment when you anchor that light, when you bring that light into those shadows, right? When you bring that beautiful love and compassion into those shadows, into those parts of you. So you are, this is a confirmation that you are a powerful warrior in your life, and you've been through a lot. And so, but there's still a little bit of work to open your heart. There's still a little bit of opening, heart opening, that we got to do. And we kind of like how Hannah was talking about, like she has to work on her throat still. We can all use a little bit more heart chakra opening. So, but this is just an invitation to focus on that at this moment more than anything, so that you can really show up for yourself, for those shadows, do that nourishment, to for self, so
Mhm.
that you can manifest the life that you are looking to manifest at this moment. So that's what I have. I am complete, and I'll leave it up to you, Hannah, if you want to add anything else.
I just, yeah, I pulled some more cards. So I just also want to confirm here that we have the lion coming up again. So with the strength card, it was in reverse, but and I just want to add to um to trust that you can move away from something, like like the temptation is like something that like it's nice, and it's like what's the other word, we can be like that. Don't let yourself be distracted by something that is nice and might not be bad or anything, but it might like try to figure out why you wanted, like some most of the time we have our things, like for example emotional eating or something like that, and we do that because we want we want to fulfill a need by that, but it's like a sideway, is that how you say it, like it's like not the actual, you don't really fulfill that need. So
Mm,
the need is only be fulfilled if you, how Jakara put it, like face the shadow, and like don't be afraid, don't be afraid to make that step away from the things that give you, I'm like missing the words right now, but like that give you this, that you're like holding on to because they are giving you a sense of comfort, or like they seem helpful, and they might also not be too bad or something, but they are actually, allow yourself to walk freely, to step into the open air, and like to take that jump, and then to figure out that you actually can fly. So
mm,
allow yourself to, yeah, to trust yourself, trust yourself that you can do it.
I felt that. Well, I feel complete. Are you complete, Hannah? So I'm gonna disconnect from Kate right now. I'm disconnecting from your higher self now. Thank you, Kate. I hope that resonated for you, and that you can lean in. And you always, you can always lean in if you need support. That's what we're here for. So I feel complete. And then we are 4 minutes away from, or actually now 3 minutes away from 2 p.m.
Oh,
So kind of wanted to make sure that I honor the sacredness of our time, and make sure that, I think this feels right, right? This could be the end, or did you want to do an additional one?
I cannot see the chat. You're the master of the podcast, so I follow you.
I am the yeah. So Kate said this has been super helpful. Definitely did resonate with me a lot. I'm so happy, Kate, that this helped you. And and so yeah, I think we'll leave it as this. I know we didn't get everyone today, but just know that you can always come back on Thursdays. I'm here with other practitioners. Next week I will be with Naharina. We're gonna be talking about spiritual awakening. I haven't posted it yet on YouTube and on Meetup, but I will be posting it today. I just been running a little behind with my admin stuff, but I will be posting that. So, but just so you know, prepare yourself. We're gonna be going live and talk about spiritual awakening, and just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea, we're gonna be kind of doing something. Hannah and I and Dawn and Maurice, we're brewing something behind the scenes for y'all that is actually related to spiritual awakening. So, I'm just gonna drop that. I'm gonna drop that there. I'm not gonna tell you yet what it is, but we're brewing something, and so prepare yourself. So you definitely want to make sure that you come to next week's live stream, because we're gonna be talking about this topic, which is gonna be the same topic of what we're gonna be preparing for you guys for the month of May. So Amy says, how exciting. Yes. So I just want to just thank each one of you for being here, for, for your time, for your energy, for your attention. I mean, this would not be as fun without you guys. So, I'm just being honest, y'all. This would be very, very like, well, I know, actually not. I love Hannah. We'll be having fun talking, but it's more fun when you guys come in and interact. So I'm so grateful to each one of you. It means the world to me when you subscribe, when you share, when you talk about this channel, when you support the people that I bring here. It means a lot to me because it means that that I am weaving alongside with you. It's not just me, alongside with you, a beautiful community of support and love, and and integrity and truth and connection. And I'm just, again, I can't express enough how grateful I am to each one of you who are watching this, and to you, Hannah. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming, again, and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge, and and having so much fun with us, and your healing. Oh my gosh, everything is so amazing. And I just kind of wanted to just also segue into Hannah's Instagram. You definitely want to check her Instagram out, because she has she posts a lot of things there in regards to the events that she has coming up. She does have a sound healing event coming up on Sunday this week. And I also wanted to mention that she also has a YouTube channel. Go and support her YouTube channel. Go subscribe to her YouTube channel. It's the same, Soul Vessels Mysteries, on here on YouTube. So please do. And then if you like her videos, like them, share them, with someone that you love. And if you enjoyed today, then I can't express, please share this. When you support this channel, you really are helping grow this community, and that's really the intention, is to grow this and bring the beauty that we share here to everyone else. So and then one last thing. Again, I want to just to thank again all who are part of the Cosmic Light Activation membership. Thank you so much, everyone. You know who you are. I love y'all. You are supporting this channel and this work that I really, this intentional weaving that I'm putting in here. So if you guys are interested in coming in and being part of this, please go into my website, thebloominglotushealing.com. Sign up for my email list so that way you know when I open this group again. So I will leave it at that. Is there anything else you want to share, Hannah, before we go?
I just want to also say thank you to the group, to the people. Thank you so much. It's really so much fun. And also, of course, thank you so much, Jikara, for like organizing all of that, for calling the people in, for calling me in, and yeah, it's like it's amazing. I love to be here and talk about things. So thank you so much.
Oh, I'm so grateful to you, Hannah. Thank you. And so with this, I bow. Namaste. Love
Namaste.
you.
Thank you. Bye bye.